Booyah! Back at you, Motivation Motors. Got your boy Quan John and Miss Portia Mystique. Say what up, Portia.
Hey.
Yeah. Here at Motivation Motors, we speak to and about inspirational Black people who've overcome adversity and route to prosperity. And today we're gonna speak about my man, Mr. Earl DMX Simmons, and it's his time to overcome his fair share of adversity. You guys all know right now he's on life support, fighting for his life. They say he has, I guess, little to no brain activity by way of a drug overdose. And it's a sad situation. And we're gonna talk about the effects of substance abuse specifically within the Black community and what does it do to us individually, collectively, and how it taints the legacy we're trying to leave for the family. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling about DMX situation? Well, I already know how you feeling, but what's your take from his whole ordeal he's enduring right now?
I mean, it's funny because maybe I shouldn't have been, but when I first heard it, I was kind of surprised. I was like, yo, D, I thought you were done with that. Like, he's kind of, what is he, in his 50s already? Like, I'm not sure how
50.
old.
He's 50.
He's
Turned
50.
50 in December.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, man, you still messing with that stuff? You still dealing with that? Like, I thought, not necessarily I thought, but I had hoped that, he had overcome that. So you usually don't hear about people his age dealing with issues like that, with substance abuse, like that.
I mean,
to the point
the celebrities.
Yeah, the celebrities I'm talking about. I'm talking about celebrities. Like, yeah, you hear about the substance abuse and all that stuff for young people. Like, you got Pop Smoke, he's dead. Juice WRLD, he's dead. But they were young.
Right.
Although, no, Pop Smoke did die from substance abuse.
Right, nah, he got murdered.
Yeah. But Juice WRLD did.
Pop Smoke.
Juice WRLD OD. That's how he died.
Really? I'm not too familiar with Juice WRLD. I've heard the name, but I'll definitely research and look into him after this podcast, for real, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely, Juice WRLD was one of those people that had a very eclectic style. Okay. As far as rap, like his style was kind of all over the place, and I think that's what I liked about it. I mean, I wouldn't say he was the best lyrically, but I liked his music because he was talented and he was very different. Anyways, but yeah, so you hear about, young cats ODing. Not really dudes who were doing that when they were younger and ODing well into their later years. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you did that when you were young. Why are you still messing with that now? I thought you were over that. Or not that I thought, I hoped you were over it. But the sad thing is, of course, we're not thinking about these people until they're in the news, until in the headlines. So I haven't thought about DMX. Actually, that's not true. Me and James just had a conversation about DMX like the other day because we was watching
before his ordeal.
Before this happened. This was like 3 weeks ago.
Please enlighten me. What were you and King James talking about regarding DMX?
Let me tell you. So my husband is a huge action movie fan. Like this dude, action movies is his thing. Okay.
Okay.
So the other day, what was it? There was a movie on. I think Jason Statham is. No. It wasn't a DMX movie. Jason Statham. It was one of Jason Statham's movies, the ones that didn't do too great in the theaters, but my husband loved it because it's a bunch of action, and Jason Statham is one of his favorite action stars. So, but then we remember that Jason Statham did a movie with Ja Rule, and we had watched that like 2 months ago, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So then we started talking about rappers who did these action movies, like these huge action movies for like no reason. Like, why is Ja Rule in this serious action movie? I don't know. Right. But it was a terrible movie, but it was fun to watch. And so we started
the movie.
So we started talking about DMX and how DMX was in From Cradle to the Grave and Romeo Must Die. No. Was DMX? Exit Wounds.
Romeo Must Die.
He was in Romeo Must Die? Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yeah. So we started talking about all those movies and all that stuff. Then we got into Rough Riders, and next thing you know, we started talking about Eve because then we were flicking through channels, and then we saw Eve on that one talk show, and we was like, "Hey, we was just talking about Eve." But now this whole thing with DMX is like, "Hey, we was just talking about him." Anyways, so I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was going to say go ahead. I was wrong.
Huh?
I
Am
was
I
wrong.
right?
I said, you know, we don't usually think about these people until they're in the headlines. But I was like, nah, we was just talking about that dude. But go ahead.
Right. I mean, it's I think, I would imagine that people that are into their 40s as I am have a different take on DMX for a number of reasons. You know what I mean? We grew up in the era of DMX. You know what I mean? Younger cats in their 20s and 30s, they just, they know of DMX as being this older rapper that had the dope songs. No, we lived the era that when DMX dropped, yo, I don't understand. See, I can't even really put it to you in words. I'm gonna do the best I can. DMX is supposed to be, if not better off, than Jay Z.
Mm.
Him and Jay was neck and neck. But the thing that he actually had over Jay is that he had another skill. He was a fabulous, fabulous thespian and actor. You
Mm.
understand? So he had that, and as we all know, when you go into the music business and your goal isn't to stay in the music business, this gets your foot in the door into other endeavors.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you are creating your wealth and your foundation as a rapper, the music business is like this much of your wealth. You know what I mean? Most of your wealth might come from, liquor or art or being an actor or investment into, I don't know, a sports team. That's where most of their wealth comes from. So I say that to say him and Jay was here neck and neck, man. You know what I'm saying? But by way of substance abuse, by way of being incarcerated in and out of jail, and having, all these children and child
Uh,
support knocking on the door, it actually depleted. You understand? When
yeah.
Jay kept on rising, Jay got a powerhouse queen on his side that got her own bread. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's like it all stems from DMX. And I don't know if you are privy to the interview that DMX gave talking about how he first started doing drugs.
Nah.
DMX basically states that he was like 14 and it was an older guy that he looked up to. And the guy was a weed smoker. He wasn't doing any drugs at this time. And the guy
Mm.
was like, here, hit this blunt. But it really wasn't a blunt. It was laced with crack. We back in the day
Oh.
used to call it a wool. It's called a wooly.
Okay.
And he said this guy, his guy was a mentor, but he's also the guy that actually, introduced him to the thing that is probably the demise of his life, the
Right.
cause of the demise of his life. So look at the catch-22. No, actually, this guy introduced him to rap music and crack cocaine, both of them.
Wow.
So this guy is the angel and the devil. You know what I'm saying? And these it's about habits, man, which is a great segue to habitual habitat that can be purchased on Amazon today, man. It speaks of these habits that we get from childhood that can possibly linger into your adult life. If you do not learn how to identify with the things that help you as opposed to the things that hinder you, end up in a good situation. You know what I'm saying? Good
Right.
luck doesn't happen. There's no such thing as good luck. There's no such thing as bad luck. People that are well off, this was it was intentional for them to be well off. Okay? All
Yeah.
right. I mean, it's like look at the Jay-Z's and the 50 Cents and people like that. They don't do no drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Their money is too important to do drugs. I don't think they even drink like that. They probably do socially, but they don't sit around the house drinking. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And they ain't, and like I said on my the audio podcast that I did yesterday, it's nothing wrong with cannabis is nothing wrong with it for spiritual curative purposes and for investment purposes, of course. But when you
Exactly.
in habitual habitat, you will read the story about a kid that I based it on my life. You know what I mean? We had a crew and we were called Smoked Out Every Day. That was the name of our crew, SOED.
Mm.
And that's what we did. We smoked every single day. It became so much part of our, in the morning we needed it. We needed it to have a good appetite. We
Mm.
needed it to enjoy ourselves. We needed it to calm down if we was angry. We needed it to go to sleep at night. So you're right. Cannabis is nothing wrong with cannabis, but look at the effect it can have. It's like any other drug. it can have over your life if it becomes recreational. Now, when you take the step up to the higher drugs and the more potent drugs like cocaine and crack and heroin and methamphetamine and alcohol, you playing Russian roulette, period, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we was young, Portia, like I said, drug usage was cool to do. You understand? Like for real. You know what I mean? Then when I moved down south in the South, alcoholism is prevalent. It's everyone drinks alcohol. All the dudes, I don't know no guy when I was growing up down there. I actually wasn't an alcohol drinker when I moved down south when I was 19 years old. I became an alcohol drinker by way of my environment, susceptibility to alcohol. You know what I mean? So to really stay away from these habits, it takes a very, very, very strong mind. It takes being a loner, saying, "Yo, you know what? I don't care how people are gonna look at me." But now we got to look at the emotional side of the situation. No one does drugs because life is good. Okay?
Yeah.
Think about that. You start doing drugs because you feel as if something is missing in your life. Period. You feel like something is missing. You know what I mean? And once you take that first hit of whatever it is, whether it's that blunt or that hit of that cocaine or whatever it is, or that hit of that crack blunt like X did when he was 14, now you're chasing that forever.